everyone, hope you're keeping okay, and I just want to say a quick thank you to all those lovely messages I received under my last video. Really appreciate them, especially to Sue and Anne. Such lovely warmth, and it really does help. And to those that private messaged me as well, I did get those as well. So that was Marcel and Rebecca, or Becky I think she likes to be called. Thank you for that as well. That was really generous of you, and I'm just over the moon to be back. You know, all things, I just love all things jewellery making, and I think that we need to share what we're doing, share more in this day in life at the moment. You know, it just uplifts people. That's my hope anyway. Just to, put a little smile on somebody's face, or a little, feel like they've had a little warm cwtch, which is a cuddle. Here in Wales we call them cwtches, have a nice cwtch. And that's what I want to do, is extend all the warmth to you. So in those lovely messages, a couple of people mentioned that they'd like to see more of the, hang on. Oh, you know when you get tea and it's the perfect temperature? Oh my word, that's the perfect temperature, and by the time I finish talking, it'll be, it'll be cold. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so in the lovely messages, they mentioned they'd like to see the testing of the silver and the gold, and I thought, yeah, okay, let's do that now. So my plan was, before life took over, was to extend and do a Sunday vlog and one in the week. But I found that the Sunday vlog takes over the weekend, so I've changed to Friday now, and then I'm going to do one, whether it be a quick one or whatever it is, on a Tuesday. And that's what I planned before, but life got in the way, and you know how it goes. And the other thing I want to say is, excuse the nails. I haven't managed to get my nails done, and yeah, they're looking a little bit prickly. You know how it goes, especially as a jewellery, a jeweller and a jewellery maker. We do get flaky nail varnish quite a bit, don't we? So I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyway, let's get you down on the table and do a bit of testing, shall we? Come on. I am going to get my tea done first though, because it is really nice. Oh. Bit of Yorkshire tea today, yeah. It's a bit chilly in the studio, so yeah, there we go. Bit of Yorkshire tea. Come on, let's go testing. So here we are down on the desk. Just show you a few bits and bobs. So I've put all the testing stuff. I usually put it in one of these like little boxes, and then we've got the actual acid. They're the testing solutions. So this one is quite strong, and it's very strong in fumes as well, if you're doing quite a few pieces that you're testing. So you need ventilation. This one has burnt me quite badly as well in the past. So yeah, so always make sure, safety first. Oops, I've got some gloves that I'm going to wear today just to help me. There's a couple of cotton wool buds in case I need them. And I don't know why I've not unwrapped this. So this is the actual touchstone. They come in different colours. If you're testing a lot of gold, people like to use the white one. There is a black one which a lot of people use. I go for the middle ground one, the grey one, because I find when you're testing the silver in particular, it shows better up on the grey. I've got my glasses today. There's a few other things in here that we're probably not going to use today. But there's this is used, Simichrome. That's always used for testing plastics. And then we've got the UV torch, which tests for amber, which we can do another time if you want to. And then there's a few other bits and bobs in there. I've brought out a selection of jewellery that we're going to test, and yeah, some are vintage, Some are new, but I thought it'd be a good collection there. So meet Sid. This is Sid. As the Presidium, but people call him Sid. And I've also brought out today this is my original tester that I bought first, which to be honest has done a great job all these years. So I thought, and it's a much cheaper option if you're just starting out. So I thought I'd bring that out as well to show you. And then a trusty magnet. So all that is a magnet, and we need that as well. So that's the setup. You might be wondering why I've got my blowtorch, and that's because we're just going to light the candle. There we go, beautiful. So we've got a nice candle as I'm feeling the love. So this is the setup we have. I've just popped my glasses on, I've got my gloves on, I've got my 2 acid testers there, and my touchstone. I've got some jewellery to test there, and also I have a magnet. The first thing I do is I actually bring out the magnet and I test everything to see if it's magnetised at all. And if it's magnetised, then we don't need to test it. It's not completely foolproof, but if it's not magnetised, it usually means it's silver or gold. You can see there that it's attracted to the magnet, which means we don't have to test this. We know that this isn't a precious metal. It's a very old piece, a very beautiful piece, but it's probably stainless steel or something like that. So we just pop that one aside because we know we don't need to test that. So just because it hasn't been picked up by the magnet doesn't necessarily mean that this is still all precious metals, because what happens is we get very heavy plated gold or silver, and that can actually distract from the magnet. And sometimes, you know, it's like an alloy, it's like a mixture, or it's a very low grade silver. The plated copper, that won't pick this up either. But it's a great start. So we've done the magnet test. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of pieces. I'll just choose a couple. And we're going to scrape them onto this touchstone, like that. Let's see if we can zoom you in a bit more. There we are, we zoomed you in a bit more so you can see. So all I've done is done a little scratch on there. Now I've done a little bit bigger than normal, and that's because I want you to see what's going on. Normally you wouldn't need such a big scratch. So that's that one, so we'll pop that one. So that's number 1, so we'll pop that one. So that's number 1, so we'll pop that one there. So on this one we've got, so on this one we've got number 2, and if I had another part like a bracelet or something, I'd always test the clasp. So I'm going to test the end of this as well. It doesn't damage the piece at all. So that's number 2. So those 2 are number 2. We'll take this one as well, because these are the ones you pick up mostly, this type of thing. And at first glance they look like silver, and indeed they could be. So we're gonna scratch that one, and we're gonna scratch this one as well. As I say, you wouldn't need such a big area scratch. This is just so you can see what's going on. So that's number 3. So let's do those for now. So we're going to test for now the 925. So this was this one, the first one. Put a drop on there. So this is this one. Put a drop on there. So into it I can see is like goldy colour, which is the end of there. So that's either brass or gold. So I'm going to leave that one because it's a different colour. So I'm going to go now to the next one, which was the clasp on there. And now we're going to go to the heart. I've done a bit much on the first one. So with the silver, what you're looking for, see if I can zoom right in, see if you can see what we're looking for. Can you see where the scratches are is bright red, blood red, just in the areas where we've scratched. Real dark red. That means it's tested positive for silver. Now this one, although it looks the same, looks like silver, is yellow and a little bit of green. So that means that the toggle bit there is not silver. And we're going to test the heart now. And again, it's just a black mark and yellow. So we know that these two are silver. We don't know what that top bit is on the top of that ring. It could be brass or it could be gold. We don't know yet. We're going to test that. And we know that this one is just a base metal. Okay, because it went yellow. Now I actually bought this one as brass. And when it was sold to me, I've got two actually. When it was sold to me, they not only said that it was brass, they said that they had tested it for gold and that it was just a bit of costume jewellery. And to be honest, I had it at a very low price. I just liked it. But when I tested it, it tested as silver. So always, you know, especially the vintage pieces, always test your pieces. So I did the scratch test and found that actually it was gold, but underneath was silver. And they sold it to me as brass. So something that I bought, I didn't know, I bought for about, I think it was, one was I think £14, the other one was £10. They're actually both very high quality silver. And they turn out to be Portuguese and with cloisonné on the top, and they're actually worth a couple of £100 each one. So yeah, so it is good to test these things because although I love them anyway, you know, to find out actually that it was silver, it was fascinating. So that's one reason why it's great to know what you've got. I mean, this ring is just a very basic ring. We're going to pop a little bit of gold on now, a little bit of the 9 carat to test it. And we're going to count to 10. Can you see that it's not moved at all? It hasn't disappeared. Let me see if I can show you. So the acid is on there and yet the gold has remained on the stone. And that's a clear indicator that that is gold. So I've got a sterling silver ring. So now I know I've got a sterling silver ring with a gold blob on top. And we're going to try this one. You often pick these up in thrift shops, you know, little charms and things. So I'm going to test for gold. count to 10. And you can quite easily see that that gold is still on there. Now I'm not sure at all what this chain is, so we'll give this a test. We're going to pop it on and give it a little rub. Now, as I say, if it's gold, it stays on there. If it's not gold and it's gold plated, it just melts away, so it leaves nothing left at all. So if it's gold plated, it just dissolves. If it's gold, it'll stay on there. Just going to count to 10 again. And can you see it's completely dissolved? You can't see the gold. You can still see the gold under those two, and you can't see the gold. Can you see? You can't see the gold at all under that one. Completely dissolved. So this chain is not gold. And then these two little pals, I just collect them because I like them. But sometimes it's nice to know if they're silver or not, because they look exactly the same when you buy them. So we're just going to do a little scratch of his nose. It's not a lot happening. I think I can already say that this one is not. There's no silver coming off there at all. So this is probably pewter. Because it's not magnetised and it's not copper underneath, so I'd say that that's a pewter. And the same with this one, just going to give his little nose, and you can tell instantly it's totally different. It's a nice deep silver colour. So I'll just show you that this one doesn't even need testing. So one is silver and the other one is, it looks like it's a black. It'll be like a yellowy colour. So this one should be a yellowy colour. It is indeed very yellow. And this one should be a nice red colour. So we know that this one's not silver, probably pewter, and this one is actually sterling silver. So one more I was going to show you. Sometimes they just come really manky, especially if you're buying in bundle or you're buying in lots. You get these really, really dark manky, and you know, I've seen people just throw them away, but always test them. Because this one is already showing that it's silver. Sometimes you get the hang of it, you don't even need to test. You can just tell by the way that it goes onto the touchstone. So sometimes I'll just use the touchstone and I know whether it's silver, brass or gold just by using the touchstone. You just get used to it. And you can already see that is a really deep red. So I'm just going to fold this away, just wrap it up in here, and that will keep it safe, and we'll have a good clean up. The other thing I wanted to mention was that the gold, the actual set you can buy in a set, is made up of, so you get your sterling silver, you get your 9-carat gold, then you can get 10-carat tester, you can get 18, 22, 24 and platinum. and it usually comes in a box. And the reason why, if you're going to buy it, put it in the box, because I bought my set many years ago, and unfortunately when it's had light on it, it does expire. So I would say if you're going to buy the whole lot, buy it from a reputable dealer with a sales place where they sell you with the box. Now it isn't cheap, it's about £80 for the whole set. What I do these days is I just buy the separate 9 carat gold or the sterling silver, and that I find is enough for what I'm doing. And then if there's anything higher than 9 carat, you get to tell because the gold is much richer. The 9 carat you put onto the touchstone is that you can see it's a layer of gold, but it does look sometimes like brass, so it's just that thin layer. The denser the gold, the brighter it becomes. So I do testing for like vintage places, and we've had some great results from looking at the jewellery. And I recently did one, and you could quite easily tell that it was higher than 9 carat because the richness, I can't remember if it's 18 or 22 carat gold, but the richness was much different than when you're working with the 9 carat. And you know, after a bit of experience, you get to know what you're dealing with quite quickly. I really hope this has helped you. Encourage you to give it a go. So for me, working in the 9 carat and the 925 is more affordable because it means I don't have to buy the big box full of all the different ranges, which has its place, but as I said, they did expire on me, so I only stick to these two now unless I know there's something very important. So I hope this has helped you, and I hope that it's given a bit of encouragement for you to have a go yourself. It's fascinating because there's a lot of jewellery on the market out there, whether you're thrifting or whether you are a collector that had pieces in your collection already. You know, who would have guessed that these were actually not 10 and 14 pounds worth, but a couple of £100 each, and were actually quite important pieces. And I wouldn't have known unless I started testing. And why not give it a go and create the life you love, one piece at a time. Bye.